They're sending Gerritt Cole out there to secure game number 3.
And he gets him swinging. Blows it right by him at 100 miles an hour.
Gerritt Cole starts off with a strikeout.
Nice.
And Gerritt Cole, he is hot tonight.
Oh, the Bruce is loose, all right. His second home run of this game.
Bruce with a drive to the opposite field. And this one is tied!
Bruce gives the Mets the lead with a 2-run homer. He's in 2 tonight and driven in all 5 Met runs. Back goes Bruce onto the warning track, and he made the catch.
Base hit center field. In comes T.J. Rivera. Let's go home.
Yeah, it's funny, my wife and I talked about in the offseason, and she kind of said that she thought this is where I was going to end up back the whole time. So she was right again, and you know, it's just really, really exciting.
Jay Bruce giving props to his wife, and that is how we start off 1225 Live today. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Alexa Datt. It is introduction day, as we saw Jay Bruce just about 90 minutes ago being reintroduced to the New York media. Wacky Bruce is back, says Noah Syndergaard. What does that mean for this Mets team? We're going to talk to our expert, Alyson Footer, who is going to be live from Minute Maid Park because Gerritt Cole is being introduced as his new team is getting set to have him be part of a really dominant rotation. What that means for the Astros as well, we will discuss with Alyson Footer, like I mentioned, live from Minute Maid Park here in just a few short moments. So hang on, and we will share all of the latest going on there in Houston with you here today on the show. But we start the show with our social savant, Dani Wexelman. And Dani, it is Ditch Your Resolution Day, so let's get an update on our New Year's resolutions. How have you done so far?
Okay, well, I believe I said eat less candy, and I haven't done too well with that. But one that I don't think I told you about was be less gross more. And I think that I have been less gross more.
Oh,
this year.
okay. So you're doing really well.
I'm 1 for 2.
Props.
That's 500 in baseball.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't know that my resolution's going so well. It was to not get upset about things I can't control. Mm-hmm. That was over on about day 2 or 3 of the new year.
What put you in the tailspin?
Yeah, some people were suggesting it was the Wizards. Probably some sports event that I couldn't control. Didn't go the way that I wanted, but what else is new? That's the life of a DC sports fan.
It takes a while to make a habit. It's easier to break it, but it takes a long time. So I think that we still have a little time to give ourselves to be able to really make these habits and hold them true for the entire year. So I'm going to cut us some slack and say let's try again next week and try better.
Okay, that sounds good.
Betty White would agree, right?
She absolutely would. By the way, she's dabbing all over Twitter today as she's celebrating her 96th birthday. So happy birthday to Betty White. Pretty cool.
Anytime she's trending on Twitter, it usually means a good thing. So I was happy to see her name today and realize that she's freaking 96 and she's still killing it. It's amazing.
Absolutely. All right, we mentioned the 2 introductions today, Jay Bruce and Gerritt Cole. Before those 2 introductions, Andrew McCutchen was introduced by his new team, San Francisco Giants. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out this season. But he spoke about leaving Pittsburgh and what it means to join this Giants organization. A little bit of the good, a little bit of the bad, all of the feels. Take a listen.
The guys, they're already there, like Posey, like Bumgarner. You know, they're great guys. And I know that just from past All-Star games, playing against them, talking to them. So you got a lot of guys who got some baggage that they're carrying along with them, but it's great baggage, and we're going to be able to use all of that together as a team in the mold into one. And you got a lot of veteran guys who've been through some things, who've experienced some things. You got guys who've won championships over there with the Giants, guys who've lost 100 games too. That stuff's going to help us all together as a team, and I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to that. It's something that I've never experienced before, so this is going to be really fun.
I think Andrew McCutchen created a new phrase that I've never heard before, good baggage. But hey, if that's the way you define it, that's totally fine. They're definitely going to get some speed, that's for sure. We saw him post that video of him running 26 miles per hour on the treadmill.
Nuts.
I don't think I've ever seen a human do that before, but the best part was his newest teammate was commenting on it. So here's Kutch going as fast as he possibly can. And listen, if this guy missteps, he's in big trouble. But I was pretty impressed by this, Dani. I don't know that we could hit 26 miles per hour.
There's no way that we could hit 26. I have no doubt in my mind. I wouldn't even come close to that, and I wouldn't want you to either because I would be worried about lots of things. Bones.
Life-threatening.
The
for
bones,
sure.
yeah. No breaking bones.
Mark Manson wasn't worried. He was excited. He's excited to have that speed and see it live as one of his newest teammates. So it was cool to see him kind of compare his own treadmill skills. So he hopped on the treadmill and he was like, all right, I'm definitely the tortoise to Kutch's hair. But, he's more our speed, right, Danny?
Tomato, right?
Yeah. 72 days till opening day.
He's on the treadmill. So that's the good news. Listen, the next newest Giant that we're about to talk about, also excited for the addition of Andrew McCutchen, but more for his off-field skills than on-field skills. So Longo tweeted this out, and he said, this was right after the trade happened, he's excited to do a little bit of dugout dancing with the stars, because we all know Kutch has some incredible moves. But then the Orioles' Adam Jones got in on the conversation as well. He had a slightly less graceful version of what he thinks the dugout dancing would involve. That's obviously Chris Farley from SNL. Not sure if Longo's going to do that in the van down by the river, but we'll have to wait and find out. Maybe our sources can confirm whether or not that's going to happen. But any kind of dugout dancing, in my opinion, is always good dugout dancing, right?
Yeah, I just want to see them go through a wooden coffee table or anything like that with the glasses and the jacket and go absolutely berserk. That'd be fun. But our question of the day kind of stems from a little dugout dancing, Danny.
That's right. So listen, Kutch would be a great instructor, right? Anyone would be lucky to have a guy like him teaching them the dance moves, especially us, because we have no idea what we're doing at any time when we are trying to dance. So we want to know from you guys on Facebook, if you could have a baseball player teach you some moves, teach you the salsa, the merengue, whatever you want, who would you want teaching you those moves? Maybe it's a guy from your favorite team. Maybe it's just a guy who's got the moves. Maybe it's just a guy who doesn't have the moves, so you want to learn together. Yeah. So let us know. Run over to Facebook. We're going to read those a little bit later in the show.
Yeah, I think that McCutchen would actually be a really good answer to this question.
He would.
A lot of people are going to say McCutchen, but let's try and broaden the scope a little bit.
That's right.
And dig deeper and come up with a really good answer of someone that you would love to teach you maybe a dance move or dance on the dance floor with.
Yes, either way, let us know.
All right. Thanks, Danny.
You're welcome.
All right, it's time to talk a little bit about McCutchen's former teammate, Gerritt Cole, as we head to Minute Maid Park live right now. We're joined by Alyson Footer, who is covering the Cole press conference as we speak. Alyson, where are you right now? Are you in a locker room? That's what it looks like.
Well, yeah, I'm in a little workroom off of the press box at Minute Maid Park. So my intention was to do this from the press box and have like a little atmosphere in the background, have the ballpark in the background. It's like 20 degrees in that press box right now. So that's the one area, I guess, where like no sunlight gets in at all. And we are in a deep freeze here in Houston. And it was literally like being able to see your breath when you breathe. So yeah, I'm in the little back workroom. Sorry, I tried, but we're going to have to go with the old lockers in the back.
I kind of like this, though. You're giving us a behind-the-scenes look, and this is truly what it's like to be a reporter for a team and to dig deep. So hopefully people appreciate this, because I absolutely do. And you don't have to be freezing cold, which is the biggest point.
Yeah, this is like this is one of the ugliest rooms, I think, probably in this ballpark, which is fine because it's really just a place for media to lock their belongings. That's literally really what the room is for. And then there's like a little desktop where if you need to do some work, you can, but it's bland, but it is nice and toasty warm in here. So I'm putting myself before team, I guess. Sorry.
Good. No, we like that. We're selfish here on the show for sure. All right, let's play a little game of How Certain Are You, Alyson? I'm going to pose a scenario and you're going to tell me how sure you are that this scenario is going to happen, 1 being the least certain and 10 being the most certain. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. San Francisco Giants, with the addition of Evan Longoria and Andrew McCutchen, will be a wild card team in 2018. How certain are you that could happen?
Not very. So I'll say maybe 6. I think that they'll have a chance, but I think recovering from what did they lose, 98 games in 2017? It's hard to completely recover from that with two guys who are now in their early 30s. So yes, they have some good baseball ahead of them, but they do not have the superstar numbers that they had years ago. And so that's not how you necessarily get better. I mean, they'll definitely improve, but you have to get younger, and that comes from your own farm system, which I know the Giants have a little bit of a problem there too. So they have some issues ahead of them. If they can stay healthy, that pitching staff, I've always liked that starting staff. They just have to stay healthy. And of course, what happened to Bumgarner last year was just one of those freak accidents. So yeah, I think they're going to improve, but a wild card team, I'm going to say I give that not a great chance to happen.
All right. How certain are you that the Cubs add a top-tier starter, potentially either via trade or free agency, like a Jake Arrieta or Yu Darvish, to their rotation?
I would say I'd give that about a 7, maybe an 8. I think that will happen. I don't think that, it's not really characteristic of the Cubs to just, kind of sit back and say, no, I think I like the team the way it is. Theo's always got something up his sleeve, and there really wouldn't be any reason for them not to be a player with some of these big names that are still out there. So, I would give, let's say an 8. Not so sure Arrieta. I think Darvish he'd be a good fit there, but I do see the Cubs doing something.
The latest news is that Yu Darvish met with the Dodgers again this past weekend, so we'll have to see how that all plays out. All right, J.D. Martinez will be the next big-name free agent to sign, and he will most likely sign with the Boston Red Sox. How certain are you of that, Alyson?
I give that about a 9, because what else is he going to do? You hear that there's one big name free agent still out there who's willing to wait until even maybe after the season starts to sign. I mean, these are Boris talking points. I find that to be a little silly. Baseball players want to play baseball, and so we have a problem if you have a baseball player not playing baseball in April. And I think that these guys are antsy. They're starting to get very, very nervous. We're a month before pitchers and catchers report, and so at some point you may have to dictate to your agent what you want to actually do. And the offer from the Red Sox, from what's being reported, is not terribly insulting. I think you could probably live on that, and so I think that is going. I give that a 9.
All right, Alyson, how certain are you that the Dodgers, who have not made any big moves this offseason and will not have Yu Darvish in that rotation, will take a step back in 2018?
Assuming that they don't have Yu Darvish in that rotation. So I'm not so certain about that. I give that about a 4. When you look at what the Dodgers season overall, they started off for 3 weeks, weren't very good. Then they were like ridiculously historically good for about 3.5 months. And then we saw what happened like in September when they started to crater a little bit. And of course, then they make it to Game 7 of the World Series. So this is a great baseball team. And maybe you do need to, I say I contradict myself a lot during the offseason because I think you can't bring the exact same team back and expect to do that exact same thing. So there is merit to that, but they have terrific names on that roster. I don't know if there's going to be a hangover effect in terms of their pitching, a World Series hangover effect, because they did really put a lot of innings on all of those arms. But no, I don't think they'll take a step back. And even, if they win 5 fewer games, that still probably means that you have a good chance to run away with that division. So I think they're in pretty good shape.
All right, Alyson, how certain are you that the Mets and Nationals will battle it out for the division crown, and this race will come down to the final week of the season?
That just, no, it's like one. The Mets, fine, the Mets are better. They're better. That's great. Maybe they'll surprise us and be a lot better. So that's fine. No, they're not going to take this down to the wire with the Nationals, who won when they win by 20 games. I mean, I think when they wrapped up the division, when they actually clinched the division title, they were ahead by 20 games with 3 weeks left in the season. No, the Nationals are going to win this division very easily. And look, if the Mets stay healthy, and that is the phrase you hear all the time, well, if they're healthy, well, they're not. They haven't been. And I say that hoping, for the Mets fans' sake, that their pitchers do stay healthy, that they have, key position players that are going to be contributing, and that they can stay away from injury. But the Nationals are loaded with talent. I mean, just we're showing Anthony Rendon there. I mean, to me, he was, a top 3 or 4 MVP candidate. And I mean, it goes on and on. Of course, they haven't really changed that much, and their bullpen's better. So no, the Nationals are going to run away with that division.
The interesting thing about this, though, is that the Mets went to the World Series with basically this exact same roster, and the Nationals have so much pressure on them to win this year with Bryce Harper's free agency pending. So I feel like this could be a little bit closer. I know you're laughing, but I feel like this could be a little bit closer than we originally think.
Yeah, well, they also were in the World Series. It will be 3 years this October. So everyone is 3 years older. And, the Mets are the Mets. And they find ways to figure out how to make bad situations worse, quite frankly. And the pressure on the Nationals will not be to win the division. That will be easy. It will be to win a playoff series. And that's where I kind of have to step back and just not give my opinions, because that is definitely where the pressure is. But no, I do not think that they will have any problems at all just going through a steady 6-month season and winning the bulk of their 162 game schedule.
Great point. All right. The Yankees will have the best bullpen and the best lineup in 2018. How certain are you of that?
Yeah, I mean, I know we see what's going to be in the middle of their order, and we saw, what, like, they have a really good bullpen. I mean, I give this a 7 or an 8. Putting those two things together for them to for any team to have both of those, I guess the Yankees have probably is better shot than anyone else. I mean, in terms of a lineup, I'm going to, put my homer hat on here, but the lineup in Houston is going to be a pretty good one, and I'm not sure that I would say that there's going to be a better one, even with Stanton and Judge playing next to each other and hitting next to each other in that lineup. So I get that. But yeah, I mean, I'd give that a solid 7. That's going to be, I think they're a World Series contender, and I think Aaron Boone's going to be good for that team. So yeah, we'll give that a 7.
One win away from World Series appearance this past playoff run, and then also with a new manager, it's going to be interesting to see how Giancarlo Stanton fits in and how that all plays out there in the Bronx. All right, the Indians win their 3rd straight AL Central title. How certain of that are you, Alyson?
Fairly certain. Let's give that a 6. I still like the Indians a lot. They've definitely lost a bit. There's no doubt about it. They lost Carlos Santana, Joe Smith. I mean, there are key members of their team that are not coming back. So yeah, they're probably not going to win 22 games in a row to shoot to the top of that division. It's hard for me to think that the Twins I think that the Twins will be a wild card team. It's hard for me to say that they're definitely going to overtake that division, and that the Indians will not win it. So the Indians not win the division. I'm going to give that a 4.
Okay. All right, sounds good. No. Yeah, the Twins have done some things this offseason to help them out, but they still have a long ways to go to catch the Indians for the division for sure. All right, and the final question we have for you, the winners of the past 2 World Series, the Cubs and the Astros, will play in the 2018 Fall Classic. How certain of that are you?
Man, that'd be really cool. Certain of that, I really do feel like the Astros are going to win the pennant again. So that's one half of the equation. And I think the Cubs, if they add a starting pitcher, I'd probably have to say that's probably a pretty good chance too. So let's give that a 6. So 6 is like that kind of that weenie guess where you're copping out, a little bit better than a 50% chance, but not really putting, my entire reputation on this. I think that there's a decent chance that'll happen, and I think that would be pretty cool. And I want to make sure that we talk about Betty White before you sign me off on this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Well, as our final comment here, you want to wish Betty White a very happy, 96th birthday?
I think she's just so tremendous. Every time I see her, look, I watch the Golden Girls regularly, and it's kind of like a thing that everyone knows about me, the people that are close to me in my life. It comes on at 10 o'clock here in Houston. It's 2 hours of Golden Girls, and I laugh at those shows as if I've seen them all 80 times. And I cannot get enough because it just is so timeless. And Betty White is a national treasure. And I don't know if you remember when she was on Saturday Night Live. This is probably going back maybe 8, 9, 10 years. It was a whole Facebook campaign to get her to host Saturday Night Live. So she didn't even know what Facebook was, but she had heard that 500,000 people had signed this petition on Facebook to have her host. And it was one of the funniest Saturday Night Lives. I mean, it was kind of bawdy, she makes fun of herself. And she's an animal lover too. And she's just a wonderful lady. So I hope she lives to be 200. She's just terrific.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about how Dallas Keuchel is saying "We Go Legend." That's a thing that he's saying, which I don't really get. But if you tell me that Betty White is "We Go Legend," I 100% understand that.
Yeah, the young. I don't understand the way they speak anymore. But yeah, legend. We all speak the same language when we're talking about legends, I guess.
Absolutely. All right, Alyson, enjoy the presser and say hi to Gerritt Cole for us. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Alexa.
All right, so the latest app to take the world by storm, by the way, if you have not seen it, is the Google Arts and Culture app. And it's pretty cool. Basically, you take a selfie and you compare your selfie to a very famous painting that is hanging in one of the 1,700 museums worldwide that are part of this app, Dani. And we went ahead and did this, obviously, right? Because everyone's doing it, so why not follow the trend? Here's what I came up with.
Ooh.
This just proves my mom's point that I wear too much blush on the show.
Lady Frances Finch?
Yes.
Is that right?
By Joshua Reynolds.
That's a beautiful piece of art.
You mean the one on the left, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The left, the right is okay.
The right's okay.
Definitely the left.
All right, Dani, how about you?
Man,
No!
Why do I keep getting boy?
They got the crown right, that's for sure.
What the heck? Who is this person?
That is a...
Something Amadeo, the 8th. Semi-important person. I mean, come on.
Well, they didn't get the facial hair right. I'll say that much. You don't have any facial hair you have to worry about, Dani.
That's because I trim it every day before the show.
That's right.
So you don't know about it.
But they got the crown right. I thought that was pretty... They saw your invisible crown and they decided to put that in the portrait.
How did I get a man?
That was really nice. Listen, a lot of people are getting men.
All right, whatever. Listen, Who's That Wednesday? It's time for it. Here it is. Heyo. So what we decided to do was match these beautiful pieces of art with baseball players' faces and figure out who these guys are. So I'm going to go first for you, Alexa.
Okay.
Okay. So the app decided that this person most closely resembles a painting of Henry Lee Higginson, the founder of the Boston Symphony Orchestra.
Okay.
Clue number 1. I've managed for 23 seasons with a 1,853 to 1,855 record, so basically 500. My son played for a team I managed, and Henry Lee Higginson may have been born in New York, but I was born in France. So?
This is interesting. So I'm not 100% sure who this is.
Okay.
But I'm going to take a guess.
All right.
Is this Bruce Bochy?
Hey!
Oh, look, they look so much alike.
That is great.
Look at his little mustache and little goatee.
Like 20 years earlier, Bochy had blonde hair.
Twinsies. All right,
Good job.
Let's continue here with Who's That Wednesday? Mystery Man number 2. This is the work of art that obviously is hanging in a beautiful museum. It's actually the Rijksmuseum.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. The app says the person resembles this painting of Philip Melanchthon, the first systematic theologian of the Protestant Reformation, an intellectual leader of the Lutheran Reformation.
Important.
A lot of stuff there.
A lot going on.
Okay, I hit 82 home runs in my career.
Okay.
That's clue number 1.
All right.
Clue number 2 is I will manage my first big league game on March 29th.
Okay.
And clue number 3 is I am well known for my brains and brawn.
So I'm going to go with the brawn. I'm going to stick to the brawn here, and I'm going to say it's Gabe Kapler.
That's what I would guess.
Show me, Gabe.
Very nicely done. Yeah.
The brains and the brawn. It does kind of look like him, huh?
Yeah, and the fact that he will manage his first game on opening day there for the Phillies, so that'll be really exciting to see.
Young guy leading the young. So should be exciting there.
All right, Mystery Man number 3 for Who's That Wednesday?
That's right. The app believes that this guy looks like the painting, quote, Man from a Quill by Ambrosius, Man with a Quill. And he can probably read better than I can, too. Ambrosius Benson. Clue number 1. I may be from the South, but I don't play there. Clue number 2. In 2018, I will try to follow the best season of my career. And clue number 3. Some kids love to say my name.
Yeah, this is tough. So I was going on the clue of following up the best season of my career. So I was thinking maybe Giancarlo Stanton.
Okay. It doesn't look like Stanton.
No. Maybe Jose Reyes, who has a little bit of a beard.
What about Votto?
Ooh, not bad. Oh, Charlie Blackmon.
That's a good one.
Nicely done.
That is very good.
Yeah, I guess you have to compare the facial hair.
Oh, that's right. I do remember the kid who was screaming, Charlie Blackmon! Charlie Blackmon! And then you got to meet him and he was speechless.
I forgot about that. All right.
That was a good kid.
Mystery Man number 4, our final one here for Who's That Wednesday. We did our own arts and culture on this one. We decided this person resembles Gene Simmons. All right, clue number 1. I played in my first World Series in 2017.
Okay.
Man, look at that.
I'm distracted.
The makeup
right now.
Clue number 2. I play like a wild horse.
Ooh.
And clue
Strong
number
clue.
3, I think you probably could guess off of wild horse. Much like Gene Simmons, my tongue became the topic of conversation last October.
Yeah, it did, Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, absolutely. Wild horse. Con la lengua afuera.
That's great. I love it. Very nicely done.
Yeah, this is our work of art.
Thank you guys for putting that together. Thank you for guiding me through that magical moment.
Hopefully you played along and had some fun
Maybe
with us.
museums will take a page out of our book and start doing that.
Yeah,
Could be cool,
absolutely.
right?
All right, the news came out yesterday that if Ichiro does not catch on with a major league team, he may go back to Japan to play. I know, and we love watching Ichiro Suzuki. We've loved him his entire career that he's been here, but it doesn't look like a team right now is showing interest. So one of 1225 Live's favorite players on social media, Trevor Williams, decided he's going to do his own recruiting, and he's been doing this all offseason. Yeah. He did it with Shohei Ohtani, trying to get Shohei to Pittsburgh. It didn't work, unfortunately, but he's going to try again. Get Ichiro to Pittsburgh, he says. I think this could maybe work.
And then followed up with, if this doesn't work, then I'll stop trying to make player acquisitions via Twitter. Trevor Williams never stopped trying to make player acquisitions via Twitter.
I was going to say, keep this up forever. No one's hating on you for doing this. We love it.
Listen, I raised my hand and said, Ichiro can play on my rec league softball team. Now, little known fact, I don't have a rec league softball team at the moment, but I would make one, and Ichiro can play whatever position and bat wherever he wants.
Yeah, I think he'd probably go back to Japan and play. No offense, Danny. But his skills are a little higher than anyone that's playing on your rec team.
Hey, I'm giving him a chance to stay and play and be with his friends who love him. Like,
I'm making a prediction that I do believe that he'll catch on with the major league team.
I think so too. It'll be late. I think it'll be late, but he'll make it.
There are still free agents out there, big name free agents. So once some of that dust settles, I feel like maybe he'll find a home.
That's right. Speaking of one of those guys, another favorite of ours, Bartolo Colon, and he's making his rounds because why not? Everybody loves him, and so there's a quiz on Cut 4, and the quiz asks a lot of great questions about him, and so we decided that we wanted to kind of give you a little insight into what's going on. You can head to Cut 4 and take it yourself, but here are ours. This is the trivia. So this was the one that I loved the most. Bartolo Colon said that he owes his work ethic to his pet donkey, Poncho, he had as a child. True or false? The answer, my friends, is true.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, it is true that his donkey, Poncho, is what led him to being so incredibly great. And he actually has a mural of the donkey in one of his workout facilities.
So funny, when I hear the name Poncho, I just think of Narcos from Netflix. So I just think of like drug lords and, you know, all kinds of crazy narcotics going on in Colombia.
Bartolo's donkey with those bad things separate.
No, but I'm very happy that he learned his work ethic because it's what got him to be able to achieve some of the great feats of his career, like a couple of years ago when he became the oldest player to hit his first home run, and this was one of the most miraculous things that I've ever seen. This is 2 years ago, and this is absolutely true.
Ding, ding, ding.
42 years old, this was out at Petco Park, and he absolutely crushed this pitch, and everyone went absolutely berserk. His first home run of his 19-year career, and it was cool because they ended up winning 6-3, and it was off James Shields. And then when he went back into the dugout, they all gave him the silent treatment until they all then went over and created like a whole mosh pit and dove on him and gave him a huge bear hug. Because of course, this is a feat that you achieved, and it wasn't until you were 19 years into your career that you were able to do it. Pretty cool.
It's amazing that he hadn't experienced something, because at this point there are so few boxes that he hasn't checked off his list. I can't think off the top of my head what he hasn't done yet, but you wouldn't think that there are too many things. So he had no idea what it was like to walk into a dugout and have people not greet him, right?
Right.
He went through that just like a young kid would go through, but he did it at his age, which is
pretty
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, we love Bartolo. Big Sexy is welcome anytime on the show. All right, and before we let you go here on the show, one final story. Obviously, I'm a huge Nationals fan. They held tryouts for... Yeah, breaking news.
You're a Nats fan?
Yeah. Oh, I hadn't told you that before?
You never told me.
Sorry.
All right.
So they held tryouts for the president's races. You know, when they put those giant president's heads on and run around the warning track. They held tryouts, and Jake and Jordan of Cespedes Family Barbecue went down there to check out the tryouts and interview some people that were trying out in brutal, I think, 17-degree weather. Check it out.
This is our 12th annual Racing Presidents Tryouts. We picked the warmest day of the year just to make sure it was easiest for all of y'all.
Jake Mintz, Jordan Schusterman here, Cespedes Family Barbecue. It is cold, it is early. We are here at the Nationals Youth Baseball Academy for the Nationals Racing Presidents Tryouts, Jordan.
Yes, if you don't know about the Racing Presidents, they run during every Nationals home game. They've been doing it for 12 years, and here they are. They're trying out. We're going to see who wants to be a Racing President in 2018.
We already know they really want it bad because it is cold and it is early. Let's see what's up.
It's Sunday morning. It's 20 degrees. What are you doing here?
I love mascotting. I used to be a mascot for my college, and it was a blast, and the Nationals are a legend here in D.C., the Racing Presidents, so I'm excited to be here.
I think it'll be really cool to be running on the field that Bryce Harper plays.
I want to get my head inside of Teddy's head, you know? I want to be there, middle of the fourth inning, running from center to first.
Now, what actual Nationals player do you think would be the best Racing President?
I think Bryce would be a good Racing President.
Oh, got to be Harper, because I think he would not stop running. He'd run right into the wall and just, like, go all out to win.
Trey Turner, that dude would just fly. It wouldn't even be close.
Oh, you got to go with Scherzer, just the intensity he brings to everything. He'd be in there. He'd be, you know, giving speeches or something.
What makes you uniquely qualified to be a Racing President?
I've got charisma. It's just overflowing charisma. And I think, you know, as does Abe, George, and Tom.
When I was in high school, I was the mascot once, and that was just exhilarating. So being able to do that on a larger scale is a dream come true.
I'm a great dancer. I'm very excited for the free dance. I'm gonna nail that.
I can do the worm, so I'm gonna bust it out today and hope it works.
Now, what are your expectations for the costume? I've seen a few people already fall down. What do you think's gonna happen?
I think I might be slowed down a little bit.
The costume's about half my weight, so my strategy is just luck.
I think it's gonna be hard to see. I think it's gonna be really top heavy.
I'm gonna have to like lean back when we're running a little bit.
I think I'm in decent shape. I can hopefully run from here to center field without a defibrillator.
I think it'll smell bad, let's be honest, because I think there's about 60 people trying it on today. I think it's just an honor to don it like a Superman's cape.
The boys, by the way, actually got in the costumes themselves, so we'll share you that a little bit later on in the week, because having them actually put on these smelly heads, I think is going to be the most entertaining thing. They've tried to do like everyday things, like tie their shoes and
it's impossible.
Throw a baseball around. It's very difficult.
What's funny is when I worked in Harrisburg, we had the Racing Presidents come down. They're the AA affiliate for the Nats, so they came down and ran around a few innings during the game.
Yeah.
And I met one of the people who was inside the costume, and it was scary because mascots scare me, but the guy, like, clearly you have to be fit. You really do. Those costumes are so heavy, and there's a lot of different moving parts that people don't understand. So props to the guys who actually make that squad, because it's no easy feat.
Yeah, congratulations. Maybe they'll do some dancing in the costumes as well.
I hope so.
Whatever the Nationals need from them. Question
like
of the day has to do with dancing, Danny. That's why I'm dancing.
You need
Try to
someone
tie it
to
all
help
together,
you.
man.
Yes. Quickly before we get to that, Tim pointed out, because I was talking about what hasn't Bartolo done.
Yeah.
Has Bartolo Colon won a World Series?
No.
So he has yet to cross that off his long list of things he's already done.
Yeah.
Sign this man. Get him a ring.
That means he's got to go to a contender.
Can you imagine that?
It'd be nice to see him maybe come out of the pen for one of those contenders. I'd love that. The crowd would go freaking crazy.
Oh my goodness. All right, so listen, we asked you guys, based on Evan Longoria wanting to do a little dancing with Kutch in the dugout, get some moves going, who would you guys want to teach you some great dance moves? So Andy said Gerardo Parra, guy is always dancing. That's great. I love that. We did not think of Gerardo Parra, but that's so true, Andy. Brian said Altuve. Have you guys seen his moves in the locker room? Plus, I'm sure he got some moves from the Backstreet Boys.
I was going to say, I think he mainly does singing, but I guess he does the moves along with the singing.
I think
the routines.
Yes, Club Astro, right? I think that Springer and Altuve and Correa have some pretty good dance moves going on in there.
Okay.
And then let's see. We didn't say ours, right? You talked about Prince Fielder showing off his moves on the wedding circuit this year.
Yeah, at Elvis Andrews' wedding, and he was getting his groove on the dance floor.
I was impressed.
Yeah, I thought that, I don't know that I could pull it off, but I'd like him to teach me how to do it. But to me, Yasiel Puig, remember when he did the worm across the clubhouse floor? I'd like to know how to do that.
Okay.
I don't know that I would look as graceful as he does, but
I can't confirm if you would, but I'd only have to see, and then I would really know. I think I would go with Elvis Andrus or Adrian Beltre, because those guys are literally always having the best time ever, so I feel like they've got the moves.
What about the entire Red Sox outfield? Win, dance, repeat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Benintendi, Betts.
They know what's going on.
Absolutely. That's great. Okay, and there's something I wanted you to address. Our friend Dave on Facebook, I felt like I wanted to give you a chance to respond to Dave. Hopefully you won't throw too many punches here. Dave said the Nationals can't get the job done any more than the Mets can. The NL East is going to be the joke of the division this season.
Really? Okay, and who's your team? I'd like to know that. Go ahead and let us know, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, because I don't know what you mean by joke, but the Nationals have won the division 4 of the last 6 years and have dominated it. I believe they won the division by about 20 games this year, have Cy Young pitching in their rotation. I could go on and on. What's going on here? Why are we still talking about this?
So I felt like you needed your chance. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's it. Thank you guys for participating today. We got Thursday and Friday left this week.
Thursday and Friday, yeah, and we'll see how the Cespedes boys did with the costumes and the racing presidents.
You're not going to want to miss that.
That'll be pretty interesting. All right. Thanks, Dani. Appreciate it.
Yep.
And thank you so much for watching us here on 1225 Live. We've been talking a lot about Gerritt Cole, who is getting set to be introduced by his new team live from Minute Maid Park. That's going to happen in just a few short moments. So make sure you stay tuned to MLB.com. We'll have all of the coverage. Alyson Footer on Twitter as well will keep us updated as to how this press conference played out. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow, and we will talk as much baseball as you can possibly handle tomorrow on 1225 Live.